Hello, 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 everyone. We are live right now. This is another episode of Sree's daily global COVID-19 show. My name is Srenivasan, and I'm the Marshall Loeb Visiting Professor of Digital Innovation at Stony Brook School of Journalism. It is my honor to convene this global conversation about various aspects of the COVID-19 crisis. Today, we have a special treat for you because we're going all the way to India to talk about the topic of Americans in India. And we're going to be meeting Isheeta Ganguly, a singer, writer, director whose new rendition of India's national anthem has gotten worldwide attention. We'll also be meeting Somdatta Singh, who's a serial entrepreneur and angel investor. Please tell us where you're watching from. Please connect with us. We want to hear from you. This show is number 57 of this series. That means I've been on the air for 57 straight days. It also means we've been locked down for 57 straight days in New York City. We're so grateful to everyone who's watching. Tell us where you're watching from. Please tag your friends so that they can join us. I'll be bringing our guests on in a few minutes. In the meantime, we want to make sure that you know that we are brought to you in partnership with Scroll.in, one of India's leading independent news, culture and analysis websites. And we are also so pleased to connect with them because they are able to bring us some great guests and some great audiences from around the world. It's 9 p.m. in New York and it's 6:30 a.m. Friday in India. Let's also thank our sponsors who have been able to be with us. And we want to thank Pratham USA for their support of this show. They are raising money for their responsive innovation to sustain education campaign. It's called the RISE campaign. And from now until Mother's Day, May 10th, your impact could be doubled as donations will be matched. Please go to prathamusa.link/rise for Pratham. prathamusa.link/rise for Pratham, or go to prathamusa.org and make a donation so that will be matched and your money can be doubled, and double the impact is always great. We're also saying hello and congratulations to our friends at ProPublica. ProPublica is an amazing journalistic institution here in the US, and we are saying congrats to ProPublica on its latest Pulitzer Prize that makes 6 in 12 years. Journalism that holds the powerful accountable. Support ProPublica, but at this time when deep dive journalism is most needed. This ad is brought to you by Nidhi Sinha, who is a friend of the show and also a friend of ProPublica. So please go to propublica.org and donate today. What a great cause. They just got their Pulitzer Prize on Tuesday, and just so exciting to see their success. And so we want to make sure that you go to propublica.org and make a donation. If you like these shows that we've been doing and we've gotten comments from around the world, we're so happy to tell you that one of the things that my team does is we make shows like this for other people. So if you would like a show, this is what we offer. We offer the opportunity for you to work with us to convert your in-person event to virtual events, or make your own live web show like we're doing, stream onto multiple platforms. We offer consulting, training, event amplification. We can be 100% of your production company or just 10%. You have the option because we can do it all for you. We also want to say we have a very special Mother's Day opportunity for you. It's Thank a Mom on Mother's Day. And if you want to say hi to your mom with a photograph on Mother's Day and a message, this is what we charge. We know it's high prices for maybe in India, but this is very low and affordable prices in New York and in the US. 50% of all proceeds will go to support Nick Kristoff's C19 Impact Initiative that's doing amazing COVID-19 impact work. So here's a chance to say something to your mom and to praise your mom or your grandmom or an aunt or anyone that you like who's a mother figure to you. On Sunday, we have 2 shows in the morning and in the afternoon. All right. I think with that, we are ready to bring on our first guest. Isheeta Ganguly is going to be here, and I'm just letting her know she's about to be on camera. So here we go. Hi, Isheeta.
Hi, Sree. Good evening in New
How are
York.
you? Yes, good night
Good,
and good
good.
morning. It's
Yeah, I
very
know.
early. I have the
It is
feeling
very
watching
early.
you do social media that you're up very late. So you've gotten up early for us, haven't you?
I have, but for New York, always for the home city.
Yeah. We want to tell everybody that who tuned in thinking Americans in India, we were deliberately putting on Indian Americans in India. And we're so happy to have you here, Isheeta. We're going to tell people your story. We're going to play this incredible rendition of India's national anthem that we want you to talk to us about. It features our mutual friend Shashi Tharoor. And also, we'll be hearing later from Jay Mandal, a wonderful photographer from the town who is stuck in the town of Bishnupur, but discovering himself and everything wonderful about India. So let's look at some of the comments that are coming in. Marielle, who's watching from Kansas City, is tagging Vivek Sharma. And good morning from the South China Seas, says Captain Junad. I don't know if you're actually on the seas or you're a captain who's usually there. And Sonali says she likes that journalism that holds the powerful accountable. Thank you, Sonali, watching from LA. And feel free to jump in if any of these cities mean something extra to you. You're always welcome to do that. Let's see who else is watching. Jonathan Borstein is watching from the East Village. Always grateful. He's watched 57 days in a row.
Wow,
Uh,
I'm not
that is
surprised.
amazing. So Steve Taylor, who's part of our amazing team, is watching. And if you need any help with your virtual projects, folks, please let us know. And Sonali says, you have so much energy. It's 9 p.m. in New York City. Thank you. Dharamshar says, hi. Please tell us where you're watching from. Please tag your friends. And look, someone's watching from Kharagpur in India. Dharamshar, hey, Brahm. Thank you very much for being here. Neha says, cool. And PK Sharma says, hello from Riverdale in New York. We're grateful, PK, for all your support of our show. You should know, Isheeta, that PK is an amazing restaurateur in New York who used to run Indian Cafe on 107th Street in
Of course.
Manhattan. And you know that from your time here. He has two children who are physicians, who are married to two physicians, and they are on the front lines, as we know, with all the workers who are out there, healthcare workers. So we greet PK and his family and thank them for everything they're doing on the front lines. Iftikhar says, hello, how are you? Iftikhar has also given us his phone number, so we're not calling you Iftikhar, but thank you for being here. And Sonali says, hi, Isheeta Ganguly. We met years ago at an IAAC event in New York. I too am Bengali. Don't break out the Bengali quite yet. We have a whole section because we're going to hear the Jana Gana Mana, the Indian national anthem in Bengali, rendered by Isheeta. You're going to enjoy what she's doing. And Tim says you're dressed so fancy tonight because every time I'm with Isheeta, she's always with fancy people and fancy events,
Please.
fancy restaurants. So I had to dress up. Sonali's happy that Jay is going to be there. Uh, we're so happy that everybody's watching. Ishita, we wanted to the first question we ask all our guests: how are you doing? Where are you? How is the family in India right now?
So we're in Mumbai, and this is week 8 of the lockdown for us. While we're obviously very blessed and fortunate to have the good luck of being indoors and not being in either trying to get home to various parts of the country on foot, or nor are we really in the front line doing what all of our essential service providers are doing all around the world, beyond healthcare providers, but also our service providers. So in that sense, one feels a little bit of, I would say, a strange kind of survivor's guilt because you're not really physically doing what so many millions, hundreds of millions of people are doing all over the world, probably over a billion, to support us during this time. But it's been okay. I think India's strategy overall for the lockdown has been effective. We've kept our numbers much lower than what was expected, and that's been obviously a marvelous sort of windfall so far. I think the pieces that we need to look at are how we're going to deal with food security and hunger issues in terms of those that were dislocated, migrant workers that were uh, trying to get back home to their home states, and what their realities are going to be going forward if they're ever going to be willing to come back to major metros like Mumbai after going through this trauma. So those are sort of the larger existential issues that we need to look at. But here we are, it's week 8. I think we've got a bunch of, at least a few more weeks ahead. And then after that, obviously, it's living in a brave new world. So that we'll all have to globally, collectively figure out what it means, what the new norm, what the new world means.
And that's certainly something we all have to think about. Folks, my guest is Isheeta Ganguly, who has just joined us from Mumbai. She's live in Mumbai, up early, as several people have noticed. And it's great to have you with us. We're just going to see, again, a global tour. We see Rojana is watching from Darjeeling in India. Anand Babu says hello from Andhra Pradesh. Lori Nasrallah is watching from Dobbs Ferry, just up the road here in Manhattan. And Sudipto is watching from Santa Barbara, California. Tanuja is watching from Mysore. And Mohammed's a journalist who says, I'm impressed with people from India who are up so early and joined us. So that's pretty cool. And our old friend Navs is watching, Naveen Jain. And Tina says, hello, friends. Good to see you together. So that is really cool. And Nav says, hello from Boston. Isheeta, you had a chance to share this with your network, right? You were able to.
I did.
On Facebook.
I did.
Thank you.
Yes.
That's why all your old friends are here. Look, Sharmila Rao is here, and she says hi and miss you. And Pradnya says hi, Isheeta. And Tim says, become a Sreenivasan show sponsor. It works. I went from 6 to 25 people in my course after being a sponsor for 5 days. Thank you so much. Tim was my first sponsor. You know this as a businesswoman, as an artist, that our patrons matter, don't they?
Definitely. And I think your ability to innovate with social media, Sree, has been trailblazing for the last several years. And I know that every time I talk to you, I, being very tech challenged, I always learn something, whether it was, I think you taught me how to use the sort of portable charger when we did a tour a few years ago. You were the first person who taught me how to do that. You tried to teach me how to get onto Twitter a bunch of years ago. That obviously never worked. But I'm trying to sort of educate myself a little bit more on some of the platforms that you have taken to all of us around the world. So
thank you. Shahid says good work, and Pradnya is watching from Silver Spring, Maryland. And Rocky says, love the new video and happy it was released on Tagore's birthday. What a great commemoration. We're going to play that. And Jack says, American NRI. You're an Indian American, right? Let's tell everybody that. And
yes.
Indeed, so lovely to find you here. Sonali says, my parents are in Delhi and I WhatsApp them daily. They were supposed to come to the USA on 3/31 there, but their flight got canceled. Thankfully, they have a home in Delhi. So again, everyone, please share this video with your friends. Sonali, tag your parents. Let them know that they can join us. And Jack says hello from the UK. Srivatsa says hello, guys. And Tim's watching from rural Pennsylvania. And Sudipto says hello. And Kundan's watching from Florida. This is so cool to have this global conversation. Now let's tell people about your amazing feat this week, where you took a very important song that we have heard thousands of times, and you took that and you decided to play it in a new way, and you worked with our friend Shashi Tharoor. So do you want us to play it first, or do you want to set it up a little bit and then play it?
Sure. I mean, obviously, Sree, you know this from, I think you were part of the journey when I did the medley of American and Indian anthems. That was about 20 years ago, right after 9/11. I remember you being
yes.
in. So that was a moment where Sree and I were working with the director of the Indo-American Arts Council at the time, Arun Shivdasani.
Shout out.
Shout out to Arun. Absolutely. We actually should have told her. I didn't think of that in time. But anyway, she had asked me to put together a medley of anthems, of Indian and American anthems. And I realized in that moment where the globe, and certainly New York City, was reeling from what took place on September 11th. It was a very, very sad time that all of us remember. And the power of bringing those two anthems together, the Jana Gana Mana with God Bless America, the Star Spangled Banner, with Amazing Grace, was something that I think really resonated very deeply with New Yorkers, both Indian American of Indian American origin, but New Yorkers and Americans at large for what we were dealing with. So when COVID unexpectedly sort of took our lives over and turned it topsy-turvy in unimaginable ways and in varied degrees, depending on what our personal realities are, one really felt compelled to try to bring in an anthem to unite in a call to action. And I've loved the American national anthem as deeply as I've loved the Indian national anthem my whole life. And obviously, the Indian national anthem is written by Rabindranath Tagore, whose music I've studied, recorded, and performed since I was about 14 years old. So it's a beautiful song and melody in and of itself. And the words are so appropriate for this moment, which really speak to aspiring towards victory and aspiring towards conquering an obstacle and aspiring towards a collective unity. And that speaks to us as a global community, while it's an Indian national anthem. But I think that is what we're all really looking to do, is to figure out how we can emerge from this stronger, how we can emerge from this more prepared, and how we can really emerge more united. And that is certainly the hope with which I recorded the national anthem and wanted to release it in this moment, which in a certain sense is an equivalent to a 9/11. Certainly for me, being in Mumbai, hearing about everything in New York on a daily basis. Rocky's actually, who's on the show, has been one of my friends who's sort of been updating me every night on mortality, morbidity rates, but also just the sort of topographical changes in New York City, of Central Park being converted into, an open area for beds, and the sort of makeshift arrangements of morgues and whatnot, without getting into that right now, that have been created. So that's been painful for me as a New Yorker sitting in Mumbai. And similarly, the issues that we've dealt with in India of migrant workers, as I mentioned, is something that's very, very concerning. So the goal of the anthem in this moment is to really bring us together as Indians and Indian Americans all around the globe, to say that we can do this, we can be victorious, we can hail to the motherland, which in this case is India, but I think for all of us can be wherever we're from, to say that we will rise from this, that we will rise again. I think Sree, the national anthem, the Indian national anthem, as well as the American anthem, gives one hope. I think people need hope right now. And those of us who are privileged enough to not have to deal with a lot of the dire situations being faced by millions in India, you sort of think about, what will the new normal be? How do we evolve as a community to empower all segments of society to accept that we will be socially distanced for a long time? We will be, needing to enforce hand sanitization, hand washing as practices for a very, very long time. So these are life changes that we want to mobilize a global community and an Indian community as well to really feel inspired by. So that was the thought.
And it's done with beautiful images of an empty Mumbai. This is worth watching just for that. But obviously, you're about to hear the beautiful voice of Isheeta as she sings. And then you brought in Shashi Tharoor, former UN Undersecretary General, former Deputy Foreign Minister of India. He was the what's called Minister of State for External Affairs in India, and a member of Parliament now. And you brought him in to participate as well.
And I have one other detail to add, which is that my 12-year-old son, Adarsh, is the person who really conceptualized this video, and he edited it.
So. Wow. Oh, my goodness. It's very well edited. I thought it was all professionally done. I guess you can be a pro at 12. That's very, very cool. Did he help you with the tech here as well?
He, surprisingly, I fumbled my way through with you. I had you. I didn't need him this morning, fortunately.
Is he in school now? Where is he?
They're in virtual school every day.
So they're too busy. Otherwise, we'd love to let him to have a bow in the next 30
So
minutes.
sweet.
Over.
So
Yeah.
sweet. I'll
All
try
right,
and
so
see.
let's play the video. What we're going to do is when it plays, if you want to send me anything else on WhatsApp to play a few minutes later, we can. And
Sure.
this is about 2 minute long, right? The 2 minutes, the video?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so here we go. We're about to see, many of you are seeing for the first time. Get ready for a real treat. This is India's national anthem you're going to hear it in a new way from Isheeta, but it has the words put by pen to paper by Rabindranath Tagore, the Nobel laureate, the first non-white man to win the Nobel Prize, and he is so he wrote the words of Jana Gana Mana, and we'll hear a little bit what that means, and then he also.
No. Sorry, I didn't mean to. I just wanted to add that in this moment of what we're going through, Tagore's work as a humanist, as someone who is so deeply connected to humanity and his values of humanism, globalism, and really empowering us all at an individual level through grief, through difficulty, through hardship, overcoming obstacles. These are large themes in his music, in his plays, in his novels, and in his own, I don't want to say nationalism, but in his own sort of ideology on patriotism. Yeah. So those values are so appropriate for all of us in this moment as well. So
and that's what we're going to hear in just a minute. And folks, please comment as you're watching. Tell us where you're watching from as you hear this beautiful piece of music and words by Rabindranath Tagore, as performed by Isheeta Ganguly, and spoken word by Shashi Tharoor. All right, here we go, and let's listen.
जन गण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड़ उत्कल गंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना उच्छल जलधि तरंग तब शुभ नामे जागे तब शुभ आशीष मागे गाहे तब जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे.
Where the mind is without fear and the head is held high, where knowledge is free, where the world has not been broken up into fragments by narrow domestic walls, where words come out from the depth of truth, where tireless striving stretches its arms towards perfection, where the clear stream of reason has not lost its way into the dreary desert sand of dead habit, where the mind is led forward by thee into ever-widening thought and action, into that heaven of freedom, my Father, let my country awake.
Oh, I love it. That was just amazing. Thank you, Isheeta, for sharing that with us and sharing it with the world. You've seen that now countless times. What does it feel like as you're watching it with people watching right now around the world?
It is really, Sree, I have to tell you, it is an amazing feeling. To share it with New York, to share it with the world is exactly what one would hope that this moment is about in terms of bringing the anthem to all of us. And obviously sharing it with New York is incredibly special for me. Nothing I do ever feels real until it goes to New York. So you have taken the anthem to New York and the larger community in the U.S. and all over. So it's really like coming home to be able to share this with you guys.
Oh, I got goosebumps. Thank you so much. Let's read some of the comments. Wow, mesmerizing, beautiful, says Sujata. Wow, so cool to see empty roads in Mumbai. Amazing. Such a beautiful voice and video. People are tagging each other. Mohammed says it was great. Thank you, Isheeta and Sree, for the soul-stirring rendition of the national anthem. And Srivatsa says, art has a greater role to play in every human's life. So it's great work done by you, ma'am. Scroll does great work, but I want them to come out big in reporting. They do a lot of reporting, so make sure you check that out. Scroll.in is our partner on these videos. I'm just so happy that you're with us and sharing it. And Rose is quoting you. Rose Horowitz and Vandana Menon are our producers, and they're doing incredible work, live tweeting and live sharing everything that we're doing here. Sonali says,
Thank you, Rose.
it was so stirring. I thought we might show the words that were read by our friend Shashi Tharoor. And let me just pull this up here. And maybe you'll read it for us.
Sure. So this is one of Tagore's most powerful poems to our global audience. And it was Where the Mind is Without Fear is a poem that he actually released in the Gitanjali, for which he won the Nobel Prize in 1913. And many of you may have noticed that Martin Sheen actually read the words to Where the Mind is Without Fear in light of a lot of the challenges that the US was facing earlier on with regard to immigrants being, treated very poorly and mishandled across the border, et cetera. So that was a very historic moment when Martin Sheen read out Where the Mind is Without Fear. So let me go back to the poem. Oh, I can't see it very well. Suddenly shrunk. Sree, why don't you read it?
You want me to read it? Okay, I'll read it.
There it is. Do you want to? I can start and then I'll let you take over.
Okay.
Should we do that?
Yep.
Where the mind is without fear and the head is held high, where knowledge is free, where the world has not been broken up into fragments by narrow domestic walls, where words come out from the depth of truth, where tireless striving stretches its arms towards perfection, where the clear stream of reason has not lost its way into the dreary sand of dead habit, where the mind is led forward by thee into ever widening thought and action, into that heaven of freedom, my Father, let my country awake.
Wow. Again, goosebumps. I'm so glad you were able to read it. That is the words. Those are the words of Rabindranath Tagore that helped him win the Nobel Prize in Literature in 1913.
Now you need to read it once more for everybody.
Okay. Maybe in a little bit we'll
Okay.
do that. But I know there are people who are watching now who don't know the name Tagore. Sadly, he's not as well known as he should be. So let's just point everyone to the Nobel Prize listing for Tagore. And here is Rabindranath Tagore. This is the nobelprize.org website. And you can go in here. And by the way, I've always loved this picture of him that they used on the Nobel Prize photograph. And you can hear his story here. He was knighted by the ruling British government in 1915, but within years, he resigned the honor as a protest against British policies in India, in particular the Jallianwala Bagh massacre, where so many people were slaughtered in peaceful protest by British general named Dyer, who brought his Indian soldiers, and the Indian soldiers shot into the crowds of unarmed men, women, and children. And if you haven't been to Jallianwala Bagh, there's a beautiful, haunting, wonderful memorial there. And just thinking about that, just so emotional. And thank you for keeping all of us thinking about Tagore at this moment, Isheeta. I really, really am grateful.
He truly, what I say in a lot of my theater shows as a writer-director is that he's truly a New Yorker. I've always felt that. He had a global spirit, and you could kind of see him in like the East Village, like sitting at a cafe and just, having an iced Americano, really soaking in the world in New York City, and soaking in sort of different beliefs, different thoughts, different regions, different religions, different nations. So this notion of the world as one was something Tagore introduced to India. And in terms of the Bengali Renaissance in the 1800s, in the 19th century, he really was the bloodline of that Renaissance in terms of sort of liberated thought about globalization, about religious pluralism, and about feministic perspectives. I mean, a lot of the work that Sree I've adapted into my musical theaters, both Three Women and Sundays with Chitra and Chaitali. Those are my two musical theater productions. Three Women, which is becoming a film later this year, whenever we're allowed to shoot, is about Tagore's relationship with his sister-in-law, who was very, sort of a mutual inspiration. They were mutually inspired by each other, but also likely there was a romantic overtone to it that she unfortunately couldn't cope with, or along with the other constraints she had in the household of being sort of a subjugated woman, being seen as not good enough in terms of her caste and her background, is what led to her untimely suicide at the age of 27. And that trauma in Tagore's life when she died is what led to some of his best work, whether it's his songs, his poetries. He painted, Kadambari Devi was her name, and it's actually said that he painted Kadambari in the last few weeks of his life, or the last few days of his life. So the feministic literature has also been a big driving force, certainly for me and many others, with regard to Rob Tag, as I call him.
Rabindranath Tagore, Rab Tag. I like that. I'm learning so much already, and thank you for sharing that. I want to just read a little bit from the Mumbai Theatre Guide, where they reviewed your play, and they talk about how you conceived it and what you put together. And Ganguly's premise is a brilliant one, with a never explode before angle to Tagore's work in his life, that of the back from the future muse conferring with the heroines inspired by her, but the two are so just a wonderful example of the kind of publicity you got and how you were able to tell this story. And that's very, very special. Folks, you're watching a conversation with Isheeta Ganguly, an Indian American who's made her home in Mumbai and is become a theater director and writer, and has always been an amazing singer. And we're just so proud to see all that she's accomplished. And we're going to play another piece of video a song that she sang in a minute. But we want to just soak in all the compliments that are coming in for you. Veer says, very good morning. What a great start to the day, which I love, Veer. Thank you very much for sharing that. How do you feel when you see these kinds of things?
It's just so inspiring to be connected to all of you, Sree. I cannot say that enough. I watch your show a number of days, and it just makes me feel that I am connected to New York, connected to this larger global community. Because the thing about COVID, again, sorry to bring it back to COVID, is that it's all here, there. It's not here, there, and everywhere. It's Babel, like real time. We're all in it together in real time in every corner of the world. So unlike a world war, which was over there, and World War II, or that was over there, it's all here. So I think the connectedness we feel as a globe in this moment of COVID is unprecedented, because we're all facing the same issue in the same moment all the time. Yeah. So hopefully we will wake up to a much more empathetic world on all fronts. So that's certainly, what we hope.
Yeah, we are going through that. You're right. Anand says, great work. Your son edited it very well. So I hope you'll show him this clip at about, where are we? We're about 34 minutes into the video. So he can watch that. And Sonali says, Tagore is the best. And she also is praising Ramanujan, the man who knew infinity. She says Asian American Pacific Islander month is right now, and she's tagging folks. She's mentioning, I guess, great men from history, because she just mentioned Chandragupta Maurya, and she also mentioned Gandhi, which is great. And Sonali is saying her mom is a Gupta, so she's connected. Sunita says, I am watching. Tina Ishita says, would love to hear you sing a few lines of Hey Newton, in honor of Tagore's birthday today.
Sweet. Oh, wow.
And tell us what that is exactly and how that ties all together.
So I am not going to sing Hey Nutan, but I'm going to sing 2 lines of Damaru, which is one of the songs from my earlier album. Sree was a part of that release. Sree's been a part of everything significant in my life, pretty much. Whether it was, certainly the plays are the only thing that he's missed, only because of geography. And he was very much with me in spirit for my New York premiere of my first production as well. So this is a song called Damaru, which applies to this global COVID moment. And the translation of the first line, Bajiri Baji Domuru Baji, is that my heart beats to that of the universal spirit. So each heart is connected to a much larger force, which is like the Damaru. The Damaru is a 2-headed hand drum. So it has a very kind of mesmerizing, hypnotic rhythm that you kind of sort of, flip your hand, and it creates this sort of meditative beat. So my heart is like the Damaru, which is beating to that of the universe. And I think in the COVID war, each of our hearts is beating to that of the universe in the effort to overcome this. So it's in 3 languages, Hindi, Bengali, and English. I'm going to just sing a couple lines because we've got other stuff to do. So here goes. My early morning voice, which is obviously not optimal. Bajiri baji damaru drima drima hridaya dharke drimata drima drima tatheya tatheya charan nachire pran veena prano me bajire. Walk along by, see your face, just looking at me out of place. I feel your rhythm, I feel your rhythm. Can you just do to me what can I?
We may have lost the video here.
I feel
You're watching our episode of Sree's Global COVID-19 show. There's some honor to have Isheeta Ganguly with us. She'll be back in a minute, but I'm going to now set this up to give you a chance to say hello to our dear friend Jay Button, who is a journalist in New York who happened to have gotten off of his village official report, and he's there. And we asked him a few questions on WhatsApp, and so he shared a video. So he's one of America's top photographers. He's the person that President Bill Clinton uses whenever he goes to India, for example. That's probably something about following this morning tape in the video. And he sent us a video, so let's play that for you. And here we go. Here's Jay.
Hello, Sree, and hello, everybody. Good morning from India, from my hometown, Bishnupur. Sree, you have asked me a tough question. What is the most surprising thing has happened to me? I would say not one, number of things happened to me surprising. The very first thing, I will start with myself. I have been visiting my hometown for the last 30 years after being in the United States.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड़ उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्छल जलधि तरंगा तब शुभ नामे जागे तब शुभ आशीष मागे गाहे तब जय गाथा जनगण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
Where the mind is without fear and the head is held high, where knowledge is free, where the world has not been broken up into fragments by narrow domestic walls, where words come out from the depth of truth, where tireless striving stretches its arms towards perfection, where the clear stream of reason has not lost its way into the dreary desert sand of dead habit, where the mind is led forward by thee into ever-widening thought and action, into that heaven of freedom, my Father, let my country awake.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड़ उत्कल बंग विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्छल जलधि तरंग तब शुभ नामे जागे तब शुभ आशीष मागे गाहे तब जय गाथा जनगण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
Where the mind is without fear and the head is held high, where knowledge is free, where the world has not been broken up into fragments by narrow domestic walls, where words come out from the depth of truth, where tireless striving stretches its arms towards perfection, where the clear stream of reason has not lost its way into the dreary desert sand of dead habit, where the mind is led forward by thee into ever-widening thought and action, into that heaven of freedom, my Father, let my country awake.
That's the third time I've seen it on this show, and it's still amazing. That's the words to Jana Gana Mana, the Indian national anthem, sung by amazing Isheeta Ganguly and spoken by Shashi Tharoor. I hope you will all be able to get a chance to share that with your friends and family. Just tag them right now so that they can watch this as soon as it's over. So thank you very much for joining us. My email address is sree@sree.net. We want to thank all our sponsors who make this show possible. They're amazing. We're so grateful to them for their support of everything we do. We want to thank Nidhi Sinha, who brought us this ad. Congrats to ProPublica on its latest Pulitzer Prize. That makes 6 in 12 years, journalism that holds the powerful accountable. Support ProPublica at a time when deep dive journalism is most needed. Donate today, propublica.org. Congrats to ProPublica and local reporting news partner, Anchorage Daily News in Alaska. What a wonderful way for Nidhi to support them. We also want to congratulate Pratham USA on its campaign to respond to the crisis in India. Pratham USA is raising money for the kids of India. The RISE campaign, RISE, Responsive Innovation to Sustain Education, and your impact could be doubled as donations will be matched between now and Mother's Day. So just go to prathamusa.org and make a donation, prathamusa.org. And we also want to thank our friends who have supported us by running ads on our show, and it is so easy for you to do that. And here you can see ads are very inexpensive. Sree@sree.net. Just email me and we can get your ad going. We mentioned Mother's Day, so we want to say that Mother's Day is Thank a Mom on Mother's Day, our effort to help you thank your moms, and or mom or an aunt or a grandmother or anyone in your life. And just email me, Sree@sree.net, or go to digimentors.link/mothers, digimentors.link/mothers, or email me, Sree@sree.net, and we will help you make a beautiful photograph that we will read with your message for your mom. There you see me dressed as a little girl that my mother always wanted. And on the right, you see our friend Neil Parikh's mother with her grandchildren. And half the proceeds from this campaign will go to Nick Kristoff's COVID-19 Impact Initiative. So please do check that out. And finally, if you are watching this and you like what you see here, maybe you'd like your own show our team can do that for you. We can help you make your own live web show. We can help you convert in-person events to virtual events. We are doing all kinds of big and small virtual events, including conferences, a 3-day conference for Princeton. We did a 6-hour conference for the cryo industry. We did a celebration of Shakespeare's birthday, all kinds of amazing things. Please do join us. Please contact us, Sree@sree.net, SREE@sree.net. We would send you our brochure if you would like. And finally, just want to tell you about some of the amazing events that are coming up in the next couple of days, including on Friday at 11 a.m. And Isheeta, by the way, just messaged in and says, it was so wonderful and fun. Thank you so much. Love you guys. Hugging the family, and brilliant as usual. Thank you so much. Please email me all the details so I can connect you to some folks. So that's how wonderful she is, always thinking of us and trying to connect us. So we are just so grateful to Isheeta for being here and for supporting us. So thank you very much, everyone. We are so grateful to everybody. I want to do a big shout out to our producers, Rose Horowitz and Vandana Menon. So with that, we'll say goodbye. Please join us 11 a.m. Eastern. We have a Shakespeare and pandemics session that's going to absolutely wow you, because it's going to feature 2 of the world's greatest experts on Shakespeare are going to be here. They're going to talk about Shakespeare and what he was able to do during the pandemic that he faced in his day. And we will explore things like, did he really write King Lear during the plague? And do you and I need to write that to be considered okay in this world? Those are the kinds of things that we'll be able to explore. So please join us if you can that's tomorrow morning, 11 a.m. Eastern, which should be about 8:30 p.m. in India, about 4 p.m. in the United Kingdom, and right where the professors from Oxford and the University of Warwick are going to be here, and you will learn a lot. And that show is being co-hosted by Linda Bernstein, part of our team. She's a social media consultant who has a PhD in English literature. Professor Carol Rutter will be here with Shakespeare Studies at the University of Warwick, and Professor Emma Smith, who is at Old Fortunatus on Twitter, Shakespeare Studies professor at Oxford. And that's it, folks. Thank you very much. We'll see you again. Please email me, Sree@sree.net. We want to get your feedback and your suggestions and ideas. Thanks very much, everybody.